Welcome to the second review of Millionaire Fastlane. We're going to dive deep into the Sidewalk roadmap. We're going to talk about affordability, and then we're going to touch a bit around the Slowlane roadmap. Let's get into it. So far, we know there are 4 ingredients to wealth: the roadmap, the road, the speed, and the vehicle. And now we are talking about the roadmap. We talked about 3 roadmaps. That is the Sidewalk, the Slowlane, and the Fastlane. And each of these roadmaps have their true essence being what they revert back to, meaning you can get rich with any of this roadmap, but most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, you revert back to the true essence if you follow each of these roads. So for the Sidewalk, it's poverty, for the Slowlane, it's mediocrity, and for the Fastlane, it's wealth. The Sidewalk, this is the most traveled road. It's basically the road where everybody is one thing from broke, wants something from broke. And the funny thing is, they can be rich, they can be poor, they can be in top jobs, they might be in weak jobs. The point is, they are something from broke. Either an album going bad, that is for musicians. Either a deal gone bad, that is for whoever does deals. Either they get a layoff. You know, one thing, they're just one thing away from being broke. And that is like the key defining factor of the Sidewalker. The Sidewalker's spending exceeds their income and is supported by debt. The Sidewalkers have no plan, no savings. They only live once, so they live large. All Sidewalkers suffer the same problem, just at different amounts. So the Sidewalker earning $6,000 a month pays $3,000 in car bills, and the Sidewalker earning $60,000 a month pays $30,000 in car bills. Same thing. At this point in the book, true wealth is described into 3 F's. 1, family. 2, fitness. 3, freedom. Under family, it's all about relationships, you know, having a good relationship with your wife, your kids, your friends, and all. 2 is fitness, all about your health, having the good health to actually enjoy whatever money you have. 3, freedom. And this is basically having the freedom of time and also having the freedom to buy whatever you want when you want it. Another point is, money doesn't buy happiness, neither does poverty. Remember what we described as true wealth: freedom, family, fitness. To the degree which any of these or all 3 of these suffer is the same degree which your happiness suffers. A good example of this is a rich executive who has no time with his family, works 60-hour weeks for 50 weeks a year, has to report to another boss, always has to go through a bag of drugs in the morning, and earns $300K a year. So he has neither of these: no health, no family, no freedom. On the other hand, a poor farmer who works half a day but spends the remaining time with his family, and they're able to have the basics of life and a little extra. Who is richer? Who is happier? Definitely, the rich executive is less happy. The next point is affordability. How do you know you can afford something? I like this point and the way he explained it. So basically, when you go to the shop to buy gum, even if you lose your job next week, even if something happens, you are not going to think, oh my God, because of that gum I bought, I'm now poor. No. That same idea is how we define affordability. If you have to think, can I afford this? You can't. Simple and short. If you have to think about it, you cannot afford it. Don't waste time. Our next point is on luck. Self-made millions come from self-made luck. What this means is that luck doesn't just happen, it's made. Made from what? Process. Remember, process, not events. That's the part of the premise of this book. Process moves probability, and probability is a function of luck. Let me explain this with an example. James and John, they're brothers, same skill level, they're both cooks, earn the same amount, both working 40 hours a week. But James uses half of his salary to go for trainings regularly and spends an extra 40 hours a week perfecting those skills, learning those trainings, reading books, listening to podcasts, and the rest. While John eats all his money and parties whatever chance he gets. In 5 years, who's going to be lucky? James. Correct. So to close off this point, he says luck is introduced when you play. If you don't play, you can't win. Meaning, the more you play, the more luckier you get. Only makes sense. The second to the last point is the idea of one big hit. Prior to now, 2019 to 2021, I was always thinking that it was one big hit that would change my life, change my whole story, change the narrative. But now I understand that it's a process. It's a soup. It has ingredients, and I need to mix it and add it. Or the other way, add it and mix it. when you come across an ad or something that says just follow this 1 2 3 system, work 20 minutes a day, and automatically in 1 year, or actually in 2 weeks, you're a millionaire, all you should see is red flags. The last point is wealth demands responsibility and accountability. What does this mean? Responsibility, simply put, my fault. When you are in a situation, actually whatever situation you are in right now, most of the time it's your fault. And let's assume you were born into it. There's still only one person that can change it, and that's you. So responsibility is accepting that you failed your exams because you didn't study hard enough. Responsibility is also me accepting the fact that 3 to 5 years ago, I wasn't doing what was required for me to be a millionaire right now. Now, accountability. This is you learning from the responsibility you have taken that, okay, you failed the exam, and making sure you don't repeat the same mistake again. So, accountability is basically studying hard for the next exam so you don't fail. Accountability is me now deciding to put in the effort required for the next 3 to 5 years so I can be a millionaire then. Please, if there's one thing you take from this, is delete the victim mentality. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Now, if the sidewalk doesn't work, surely the opposite would yield results. That leads us nicely into the slow lane. Mediocrity. Right now, I can see I'm about 50% into the slow lane. And what exactly is the slow lane? Basically, it's like the opposite of the sidewalk. We assume that's a better decision, but as a total plan, it's not. You see, when you decide to save everything, enjoy nothing, wait for 40 years, and then finally enjoy your retirement money, most of the time, you die before you enjoy it. The other time, you don't die, you are too old to enjoy it. Doesn't sound like a win either. Actually, sounds like the sidewalkers get more out of life than you. So what the sidewalker's lifestyle is supported by income and debt, the slow lane on the other hand has no lifestyle because there is no life, and it's all about jobs, that is income, and investment. So they are always thinking of, okay, I'm just putting this in the market. So investment not being in yourself or in your business. It's all about, I'm investing in the S&P, or I'm investing in this government bonds or something that give me a reasonable percentage, and in 40 years I would retire happier and rich. Let me play out a scenario. Michael is a very hard worker. He's working at a tech company. He invests 50% of his income, getting sensible returns every year. He doesn't enjoy, doesn't go out to party, no enjoyment basically, right? Now Michael, in his 35th year, let's assume he has been employed for 35 years, which is less likely, but let's just assume. In his 35th year, the market loses 50% of its value. Hear that again. The market loses 50% of its value. That's so sad. That crash has wiped out half of his savings or his investment, and that is like 1/4 of his work life. That's dangerous. Don't get me wrong, or don't even get the book wrong. The slow lane as a total plan is where the problem is, because yes, financial discipline is needed, and that is what people in the slow lane have, but as your total and only plan, that is the big problem, right? So that's it for the second review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one.